Hello කොහොමද ඔයාලට? අද මම මේ වීඩියෝ එකෙන් අරගෙන යන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලංකන් එයාර්ලයින්ස් එකෙන් පෝස්ට් කරපු vacancy එකක් ගැන ඔයාලට ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් දෙන්න. ඒ වගේම ඔයාලට CV එකක් හදන විදිහ ගැන tips, ඒතරට application process එක and interview tips ටිකක් මේ වීඩියෝ එකෙන් ඔයාලට දෙන්න මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඉතින් මුලින්ම කියන්න ඕනේ ඔයාලා මගේ channel එකට අලුත් කෙනෙක් නම් මාව ඉස්සෙල්ලාම subscribe කරලා බෙල් බටන් එක ක්ලික් කරන්න අමතක කරන්න එපා. ඒ වගේම මේ වීඩියෝ එකට ලයික් එකක් දාලා යාළුවොත් එක්ක ෂෙයා කරන්න. So මම මුලින්ම ඔයාලට ටිප්ස් ටිකක් දෙන්නම් CV එකක් හදන විදිහ ගැන. ඊට කලින් මම මේ වීඩියෝ එක කන්ටිනියු කරන්න යන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින්. මොකද සිංහලෙන් කරනවට වැඩිය මම හිතනවා ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කරන එක හොඳයි කියලා. මොකද චතුර ලෙස ඉංග්‍රීසි කතා කරන එක මේ ජොබ් එකට ගොඩාක් වැදගත්. So I'll be continuing the remaining part of this video in English. So when you're preparing a CV, make sure that looks professional. For that, you can use software such as Canva, because Canva has thousands of free templates that you can use, and I personally recommend because that's very easy to use. You just have to include your details and make sure you include a professional photo. Not a selfie you have taken, just include a professional looking photo, maybe in a Canadian or in a formal attire. And then just have your overview in the CV about your job experience, about the expertise you possess, and your what kind of a person you are. You have to mention it as a summary, and then you have to include the contact details, such as you have to include your email ID, the contact phone number, and also if you are having a LinkedIn profile, make sure you mention your URL for the profile. And having a LinkedIn profile is very important because that showcases you are a professional. And then you have to include your personal details. Under that, you can include your date of birth, your age, then your height. If you need, you can include your BMI, those things. And then you can mention the skills that you possess. For example, your communication ability, your team working ability, your leadership skills, those things. And then if you are experienced one, if you have job experience, you can mention your job experience. Please make sure that you mention the latest first and the oldest at the last, because that is important. Don't mention the oldest jobs that you have done at first, and then your educational qualifications. So the minimum requirement is O level, but if you have any higher qualifications than the O level, you can mention them at the first, and then the least, the minimum qualification, you can mention at the last. For example, imagine that you have a diploma, your GCE A levels and O levels. So first you have to mention the diploma that you have, then the A level qualification, and finally the O level qualification. After that, you can mention 2 non-related referees in your CV, then your CV is done. So if you are an inexperienced one, if you are a fresher, what you can do is, you can mention for the experience that you possess, whatever the extracurricular activities you have done at your school. So that will fill up your CV. If you have been a prefect, if you have been a class monitor, if you have engaged in sports meets, if you have been the president of the students' councils, etc., you can mention all those things in your CV. And one more tip, that you can match your theme color of the CV with the theme color of the airline. So now you can see the official careers website of Sri Lankan Airlines, and let's see how we are going to apply for this position. So this is the job opportunity is only for females. So yeah, let your dreams take off. Why not try? So type Sri Lankan careers and you will get the website at the top, and go to the website, and then you will see the home page. Then there you can choose Sri Lankan careers, and then you will get all the vacancies that they have at today. So then you have to apply. If you are experienced one with cabin crew work experience, you can go to the second one. If you don't have experience for cabin crew, choose the first one and go to that. And then you can see the job description, the overview of the job, and what it takes to become a cabin crew. So they have mentioned what are the qualifications, the job responsibilities that you need to do as a cabin crew. So let's see the requirements. The first one is you must be a citizen of Sri Lanka, a female citizen of Sri Lanka. Next is the age, that your age should be between 18 to 27. The minimum age is 18 and the maximum is 27 as of 14th May 2025. And then your marital status must be single. So if you are married, sorry, you can't apply for this position. So at the time of applying, you must be single. And the educational requirements are, you have to have a minimum of 6 passes for GCE O level in one sitting. In any of the one sittings, you have to have 6 passes for the 6 main subjects. And then you have to have a minimum C pass, that means a credit for the English subject in any of the sittings that you have set for your O-level examination. And then language fluency. The fluency in English is very much important. So if you are proficient in any other languages such as maybe Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, etc., that would be a definite advantage. That is not a requirement, but that is an advantage, a plus point. And they require the appearance must be smart and a professional profile. So you have to look very smart, you have to look professional, you have to dress neatly, you have to tie a watch. If you are, so only the ladies have this opportunity, so make sure you wear a watch, you wear your earrings, don't have 2-3 piercings, just one piercing. Wear a charm necklace if you want. Don't wear too much ornaments. Don't wear heavy bridal makeups, just a makeup that showcase your natural look. And please smile often. Smile, you have to have a pleasant smile. So make sure you impress the recruiter at first, because the first impression is very much important, and first impression is done through grooming. So yeah, that is the main and the basic requirements that they require to become or to choose a cabin crew for Sri Lankan Airlines. And then when we are going to the next part, the height and the weight requirements. So do you know why these airlines require arm reach of 212 centimeter? That's because the emergency, in case of emergencies, the equipment that are needed to solve those emergency situations are stored in a reach of 212. So in case of emergency, you don't have time to see who are the taller crew in the team and call them. So you have to be able to get them and perform your task immediately. So you have to have a minimum height of 157.5 centimeters or an arm reach of 212 centimeters. On tippy toes. Tip toes means you have to remove your slippers, your heels, and you have to get on your tiptoes, and you have to reach the arm reach of 212 centimeters. And then next requirement is you have to meet the body mass index requirements that we call as BMI. What is this BMI? So if you know your height and if you know your weight, you can calculate it online, because there are many websites that calculate the BMI for you. So your BMI must be in the normal range. And then if you are successful from your interview, you have to achieve band 6 score for IELTS exam. IELTS is a exam that tests your English proficiency level, and then you have to complete a cabin crew training program at Sri Lankan Aviation College, and that is on pay as you earn basis. That means you don't have to pay at once, you can pay as you earn. So that is how they have made the requirements. So your deadline or the closing date to apply for this position is mentioned as 14th May 2025. If you are ready with your CV, click on the below tab which mentions I am interested. So after clicking that, you will be directed to your application. The application can be auto-filled if you upload your resume at the beginning. So the resume means CV. It's a similar word for CV. So you have to attach your resume in the beginning. So let me show you how. Attach your resume over here. Once you have attached, your details will be auto-filled, and if it is wrong, you can manually fill as well. So for the basic information, you have to mention your title, either you are Miss or Mrs. So definitely it should be Miss. And now for the first name, imagine that your name is Disanaita Mudyanselade Sachini Upecha. So here your first name must be Disanaita Mudyanselade, which is your initial, your surname. So not the initial, the surname. So the first name must be Disanaita Mudyanselade, and then your last name must be Sachini Upecha. So maybe you have something like Sachini Upecha Disanaita. So that 3 names must be your last name. So if you have any middle names in between, you can mention that as well. And then you have to mention your name in full. That is Disanaita Mudyanselade Sachini Upecha. After completing that, you have to mention your email address, the address that you have used in your CV. The same thing you can mention here. And then for them to contact you, you can mention your mobile number. That also should be the same that you have mentioned in your CV. And then if you need to mention another phone number or your mom's number, your landline, anything, you can mention 3 phone numbers over here. Next is your NIC. So you have to mention your NIC number and then your gender. You have to mention that you are male or female. So as this vacancy is only for females, so definitely you have to mention that you are a female. And then you have to mention your marital status. So if you are single, you can mention you are single, and your date of birth. Make sure the information is correct, because before you submit the application, please recheck it at least thrice, at least 3 times. Okay, so then your address information, you have to mention your number, the street number and the street name, and then you have to mention your qualifications, the educational qualifications that you possess. So here they have asked for the minimum qualification as O levels, So you can mention your all-level qualification here, and then your experience details. After that, you have to tick on the declaration and then attach the resume if you didn't attach it in the beginning. After that, they are having some pre-screening assessment questions. So if you are, is your age between 18 to 27 years as of 14th May? So it is definitely yes. And then they have asked you, do you have minimum 6 passes for GCE O level in one sitting, including a credit for English? So yes. Are you a female Sri Lankan citizen? Yes. What is your marital status? So if you are married, you can mention as married, and if you are single, you can mention as single. So next question is, do you have a minimum height of 157.5 centimeter or an arm reach of 212 centimeters? And the next one is, are you meeting the body mass index requirements, the normal range? So yes. And then the source of information about the job opportunity, you can mention as Sri Lankan Careers website or social media or anything that where you got to know about this opportunity. So then your declaration is there, so you have to agree to the declaration, and your application is done. After filling the captcha, you can review your application and submit. So guys, I hope you face your interview very well, and then ඔයාලට මේ වීඩියෝ එකෙන් තව මොනවා හරි දැනගන්න ඕන නම් හරි ඉදිරියට මම ගේන්න ඕන වීඩියෝස් පිළිබඳව හරි මොනවාම හරි ඔයාලට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් කමෙන්ට් එකක් දාන්න අමතක කරන්න එපා. එතකොට ඉන්ටර්විව් එකට ෆේස් කරන එක ගැන තව ටිප්ස් ඕනේ නම් මට පුළුවන් තව වීඩියෝ එකක් කරලා ඔයාලට දාන්න. ඒ වගේම අනිත් එයාලයින්ස් ස්පෙෂලි මිඩල් ඊස්ටර්න් එයාලයින්ස් ගැන මොනවා හරි ඔයාලට මගේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක මම ෂෙයා කරන්න කැමතියි. So yeah, thanks for watching this video and hope you got a good understanding. Stay tuned.